Deep web users of Reddit, what are your worst or scariest experiences you've had while browsing? I've got a good one for this. I still haven't figured out 100% how this person found out info, but here it goes. I was buying some clothing off of the Silk Road for a while and one day, received an inbox on my personal Twitter account. The person talked about how I was an amateur and obviously didn't protect my identity enough and that they would report me to the police with information about the clothing I was buying. When I initially called their bluff, they went on to say, "Oh really? What would mom and dad's name say about this, or your teachers from school say?" Demanding money in return for not giving me up. Basically getting blackmailed, and I was very nervous because this person had all my info and I thought my Tor browser had been compromised. Later I rationalized that by following the Silk Road up and running Twitter account on my personal Twitter, the person assumed what I was using it for and used my real Twitter name to find out info on me and blackmail me. It ended up just blowing over after I ignored and blocked the account. Pretty scary though. Honestly, most of the highly disturbing content on the internet can be found right on the surface, if you consider highly disturbing to be murder, rape, etc. The deep web is mostly a fairly benign place for the sale of drugs, fraud paraphernalia, etc. by people who aren't really sadistic in their intentions. There is some child porn, unfortunately, but it is pretty actively pushed to the fringes and shunned by most. There are a few almost certainly fake hitmen. I believe I saw what looked like a pretty legit swatting service at one time. I was also around for those Wonka super counterfeit notes which, while not spooky, were definitely pretty remarkable in terms of the enormous illegal operation I was witnessing. Most of the horror stories you hear are just that, stories. The creepy aspect of it all is perhaps the big picture itself. It's harder to buy weed than it is to watch a video of two teenagers beating a hobo to death with a hammer. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I subscribe to this YouTuber who explores and shares interesting things he sees on the deep web for people who are curious, but don't want to go on it themselves. Something that really stuck with me and disturbed me was these human experiment journals, which documented human experimentation on homeless or kidnapped individuals. I have no idea if it was real or not, but it was disturbing as fuck. A great deal of that is long forgotten creepypasta and stuff taken from dystopian novels and passed off to the truth. This was really popular after the implosion of the USSR and people thought they'd found amazing and shocking true stories of government-connected mobsters murdering their rivals by vivisection and today stream it on the web for cash. Yet no case has ever been found, much less prosecuted, and not even close to independently verified. Whenever I hear or read about something that someone supposedly found on the deep web, I do view it with a decent amount of skepticism because there are a lot of creepypastas about it. However, I do remember watching an episode of 60 Minutes or some kind of news show about this guy who had been arrested for killing, torturing, and sexually abusing children, then distributing video footage on the deep web. So while the majority of deep web stories seem fabricated, I wouldn't dismiss them outright. Stuff like that has actually happened. But yes, it is good to read about the deep web with a healthy dose of skepticism. Edit, for those interested, the guy's name was Peter Scully. He is currently awaiting execution for his crimes in the Philippines. I had a glimpse once. Was on a site that just streamed the latest GIFs without filter. I'm sure they would lie me to link. Most of it was J-pop boy bands, but one was a CCTV of what I can only assume was a suicide bomber. Since the site had no context, I knew zero info. Raised pedestrian bridge, two guys sitting and talking, other people walking to where they needed to go. All of a sudden one of the guys sitting just blows up. Black gore everywhere. The guy sitting next to him falls over slow motion like frozen in the sitting position he was in. I have no doubt that he was stone dead. After he falls, a torso splats closer to the camera. Everyone else just runs. I never went back to that site. Not sure I'd call anything there scary. Anyone on Tor knows exactly what it's used for, or what people like to use it for, so nothing was surprising. I hosted an anonymous chat room for a while, it got abused fairly hard and I ended up taking it down out of fear of being busted. Some of the things I saw included soft/hardcore CP, advertisements from sellers on Silk Road, people asking to buy weapons/hits, people reviewing services offered, it was a scam/it was legit, etc., people selling BTC, prescription drugs, photos/videos of hardcore gore. The list goes on. Some people even just chatted about normal stuff. I have visited the deep web before, but as another user said, I mostly encountered crappy style websites and locked websites that required invitation or Bitcoin payment for entry. There's a lot, and I mean a lot, of credit card scammers and fake identification sites, whereby you can literally start a new life for the right price. Passports, driver's licenses and even social security numbers to buy. I read a few disturbing things on there. One in particular I remember was, A Cannibal's Guide to Cutting, Cooking and Preparing Human Meat. It was a very strenuous read as it was so casually explaining what to do. From choosing the right person and what kind of person will taste the best based on various factors, to cutting, blood draining, and cooking methods to achieve the best taste. It was definitely a serious post. And definitely something I won't forget reading. I have not been back since and never will return. There is no need. I had to log on cause it was bothering me how many false things were being said. The deep web is all the unindexed web pages search engines can't look up. Like your email account or bank account. It makes up 90% of the web. The dark web is part of the deep web that runs on dark nets and has websites not available on the surface web. What gets lost about it is that it's not big. King's College London did a study and found a little over 5,000 websites. There is 1 billion surface web websites, so that means the dark web is 0.000005% of all the websites. That not even a drop in bucket, more like a mist if that. People think downloading Tor will get you trouble, although you could be monitored downloading it, but that is tinfoil hat talk, which isn't true. It's just another web browser but made specifically to hide your identity. It's almost fully funded by the US Navy and was created by them as well. It was made so they could contact each other over encrypted channels and eventually release the source code, and the Tor project was created. You can use it as a normal browser, but it's slow as hell and JavaScript is disabled by default, so it's kinda pointless in that respect. The people that benefit the most are the ones in repressive countries or news reporters in war-torn countries. It allows them to hide their internet history and reach sites they normally can't. Moral or the story is that it's really not that bad, and don't be afraid of Tor. As far as worst goes. One time when I was 11, I was browsing /b/ or something similar to it when I stumbled upon Dice Roll Determines What Happens to This Kitten, and this thread of users were suggesting things like skin it alive, break its arms, tear it in half, etc. Op followed through and had a series of pictures of this kitten, the first one being completely normal, then another with a broken leg, then the third another leg cut off, eventually it ends up decapitated and disemboweled. The whole scene was Kodak point and shoot quality images taken in an empty bathtub. In between each picture, other users congratulated Op for delivering. It really fucked me up good. I remember almost being in a complete state of shock. It was really a turning point for me as far as my internet experience goes, like my innocence was lost. Even at 11 I had seen some gore shit, but just the idea of some dude slowly mutilating a kitten and taking pictures of it in stages for the live amusement of a group of twisted individuals was just something I couldn't have expected at the time. I get ill just thinking about it. Not really dark web, but I was trying to find this really obscure Chinese delicacy with a long name and spelled it a little off. What I got in result was a bunch of pictures of mutilated children, at least I think they're children, might have just been malnourished teenagers, and heavily airbrushed Korean girls. Was kinda weird. About 9 years ago, I was in the 7th grade, I had a friend over to my place. We knew each other from school and played COD 4 online together, as we both had just recently gotten PS3s. We were pretty similar and both browsed the web heavily at the time. We both knew of shock videos and were intrigued by Two Girls One Cup and things of that nature. We decided to sit down and watch Three Guys One Hammer, and I honestly don't think I've been the same since. We couldn't finish the video and I remember closing the browser and walking out to the front of my house not knowing what I had just witnessed. I remember the first viewing vividly. The hammer strikes play back in my mind like it was yesterday. I forced myself several years later to finish the video as some sort of closure and it made me feel better, I guess. I'm about to graduate college with a math degree, so I guess it didn't fuck me up too bad, but it changed my life for sure. I was still very young and very impressionable. Edit: read the question wrong, disregard my drunk ass. Back in 2005 I remember surfing around the deep web and encountered a beyond fucked up website from a serial killer who was eventually arrested for murder. On the website there was a sequence of hand-drawn images depicting a girl getting their head chopped off. Each page that loaded got more photorealistic. I thought it was just some really fucked up art. Some depicted a man filleting himself with the decapitated head. Eventually I reached the lat page on the website only to be met with an actual photo of 6 or so actual decapitated heads, all in different stages of rotting. It truly scarred me for life. The website no longer exists for obvious reasons, but if you're brave enough to go diving for it, I think some archive of it still exists. Hitman that said stuff like no targets under the age of 16. This much for in Europe, this much for North America, this much anywhere else. Sites to buy fake IDs, counterfeit money, guns, and arms, of course a bunch of CP sites and sex slave stuff I didn't want to click on, the Human Experiment forum someone else said but I couldn't get access to it, drug sites, gambling. Pretty much any crime-related stuff you could think of, plus a bunch of boring not illegal stuff. Never been, but from what I've heard of those who have, a lot of cheese pizza. Not just regular shit either, disgusting shit. Nothing hiding the fact they're being exploited, heavily abused, etc. I've heard of things I hate even repeating. Kids tied up, or obviously drugged, or covered in burns and bruises. Don't go there up. Stupid 15-year-old me was looking for a way to make free money. Things like PayPal, Money Adder and other obvious scams. Wading through how to become a hacker programs, drug deals, and other escrow stuff, I stumbled upon this site owned by a Vietnamese guy that claimed to offer credit card dumps and PayPal transfers for a small fee. I was like, why would you give away money for money like this? But I gave it a shot anyway, but not without a few safeguards in place in case I got fucked over. This guy looked legit since he had all of these screenshots of his PayPal account balance looking like a phone number. I later discovered how that can be faked. I found this website that provided temporary emails, safeguard number 1, and messaged the Vietnamese guy to see if the site was still active. And holy shit, he replied in less than 5 minutes. He made me a deal, and said he would take a $300 money order for $600 legit PayPal dollars. I signed up for a Western Union account with a fake name, safeguard number 2, and transferred the money out of my mom's PayPal. Hang on, keep reading. He messaged me that I'll see the money in 30 minutes. While I waited, I googled the dong's exchange rate, which made me think that I was doing this guy a huge favor. 35 minutes pass, and I still don't see the money. I message him again and again, no response. I got scammed hard. My mom's money was gone, and there was nothing I can do about it. Or was there? My mom wasn't the most computer literate person there was, so she never checked her account. She usually left that for me to explain to her. I remembered that charges to that debit card could be disputed, so I played the waiting game for about a month and filed claim that her card was stolen. Because of safeguard number 2, fake name, and the money order's destination country, PayPal decided in her favor. I signed Vietnamese guy's email up for a lot of spam, uninstalled Tor, got a job, and turned my life around. 4 years later, I'm heading towards an engineering degree and wouldn't dream of crawling back to the dark web. Caveat? Stay away from there. If it's too good to be true, it is. Drink your school, stay in milk, and let drugs do you. Not scary but definitely out there. I visited the site that was laid out to be an internet confession board. Users would make a post confessing something they did, said, or thought. Most of it was actually benign things not even worth confessing. It wouldn't be out of place in r/confession basically. This wouldn't be so bad if the supposed priest making judgment on the confessors was an alleged divine robot who was more than happy to give anathema unto you to confessors he deemed unworthy of forgiveness. He also gave users really weird instructions to follow if they wanted to be forgiven. Found this forum called Violent Desires, where sick animals were discussing how to abuse children without leaving a mark, trading slaves etc. Also there were a shitton of pedophile sites. Sites which had a proper business model for hitman. If I recall correctly, the most expensive thing was the uglification of a top 1,000 politician's child for $365,000. Truly disturbing. Checked it out once out of curiosity. Found out there are sites for the sole purpose of sharing Animal Crush videos with the world. I'm an animal lover but morbid curiosity got the better of me. Would not recommend. Didn't do much aside from that, because I wanted to avoid landing on a site that could actually get me into trouble. I had an ex that was really into the internet and pretty smart with the entire thing. He spent like 8 hours straight trying to find the dark side of the internet. He called me into the room that night when he found something and showed me the site where people do human experiments on homeless people and hit men. But what really freaked me out was when he showed me the child porn site that looked exactly like 4chan. He scrolled a little and I ended up actually puking. Dumped him right there and then and moved out a few days after. I'm still a little messed from seeing it, cause I wish I fucking hadn't. I used to use Tor before the FBI used it as a playground. I came upon a forum and one of the posts was a guy looking to buy a baby. He said he was looking for a baby girl to purchase and that he would pay the family a stipend of $10,000 USD a year until she reached 18, at which point he's make her his wife. I just imagined what kind of fucked up life that kid would have if he succeeded. Some years later, the FBI rolls in and destroys the CP rings and streams and arrests hundreds. I can only hope that dude never got that kid. Back before the www existed, people swapped images on Usenet newsgroups. In order to do this, you'd take an image, run it through a encryption scheme which turned it into a long text file. The text would then be split into individual pages and posted to a Usenet group. To see the image you had to stitch the pieces back together, then run it through a decoder and turn it back into an image. So there was this one group for images called alt.binaries.o.my.god and I was thinking, hey, how bad could it be? Picked an image at random, put it together, decoded it and it was a picture of a chick taking a dump in a dude's mouth. I used to buy drugs on the original Silk Road. I had just placed an order for $200 or $300 worth of top-grade heroin when the site went down. I believe I didn't finalize early, so the money was in escrow. When the cause of the downage became clear, though, escrow wasn't going to save me. Turns out, I had placed my order right before the feds or whatever agency nabbed my namesake and took over the site. There was a way you could tell where your bitcoins ended up, and sure enough, mine were in a wallet attributed to the feds. They had seized my money. I'm sure it's possible for them to backtrack to me, but I was low level, just a consumer.